Thank you very much. And welcome back to our program, our Amba history. Well, today we will be looking at this history in repetition because we know that a lot of people, and that is very common and natural with human beings, to forget. And as we drive on, and the journey seems to be very, very long, is only but incumbent for me to come back to the Ambazonian people and tell the Ambazonian people that it's not time to give up, and nobody should attempt to give up because we are making it there. We are getting there, and we are hitting it right over there. So, as we get ready into this program, I got a few things that I'm going to make them visible for you to see and have no doubt as we fight to make the Ambazonian people know that we are not just talking grammar at the corner, to know that we are not just sitting down and imagining things and saying them, but to understand that we are talking with documented history that can also be heard and read. So if you are out there and you think that, well, we have been talking and talking and talking, I want you to join me in the studios today because we'll be showing you practical things that have not just been invented today, but that they existed to prove to the entire world that their fallacy, and to some of the Ambazonian people who have taken sides with the genocidal La Republique government, to know that we were existing, and we were existing as two entities. And these two entities came together. How did they come together? We will see in a very short while as we get into this program. The first thing I would like to bring to your knowledge is this particular document. Just take your eyes and look at it. They call it Territory Joins Cameroon Today. Just take a look at the document. That is the document on my screen, and I'm sure that you can see it also over there in your screen. Now, if you take your time a little bit to read this particular document, you will realize and understand that this document is not an invention of the people of Ambazonia, but that it is an old document dating back from the 1930s. Well, it appears you cannot read it. Let me read it for you. Territory, that was Sunday, October 1st, 1961. If you go back to 1961 and you go to the archives, you will read this particular document. This was a New York Times They said London, September 30th. The Southern Cameroons, long run by Britain for the United Nations, will join the former French Cameroons tomorrow in the Cameroon Republic. Mark the name Cameroon Republic. The Southern Cameroons, which Nigeria had hoped to lead into her federation, will henceforth be called Western Province of the Cameroon Republic. The republic had been part of the German colonial territory of Cameroon until World War I. It was conquered by the Allies, and subsequently was divided into British and French spheres. Remember, this is New York Times. The language they are using may not be very, very clear as we know it today, but they are saying something, that these territories are joining together. The Republic, united under a green, red, and yellow two-starred flag, will continue to be headed by President Amadou Ahidjo. John Foncha, who was Prime Minister of the Southern Cameroons, will be Vice President of the Republic and head of government in West Cameroon. And then you find here under the map the New York Times, October 1st, 1961. Southern Cameroons joins Cameroon today. So, for those who have been doubting and those Francophones who have refused to learn from history, and those people that say that they are Anglophones and who have refused to learn from history, should better sit up and to know that this is the Cameroon we are talking about, and that this Cameroon that we are talking about is the Federal Republic of Cameroon. When we came together, it became the Federal Republic of Cameroon. Are you still there? Can you listen to me and listen very attentively? I am saying that history, which is almost being forgotten, cannot totally be forgotten because it is documented. And anything that is documented as history definitely has a continuation. And this continuation of history is what I am telling you today. To sit up, get ready, and learn, and make sure that you speak the truth, because that is what we are looking for. Now, this territory, as reported on the 30th of September 1961, giving birth to the 1st of October 1961. Two countries, two territories coming together. Have you heard that? Have you noted that? You still want more proofs? All right. Turn over with me again and watch this as I put it on the screen. I don't want us to rush. The history of Ambazonia has a very long beginning. Remember, we had the New York Times calling them Cameroons, and went on to say Western Province of Cameroon. As I said, they were putting it in their own language because they could not coordinate it very well. But they said it very clear that there were two territories. Ahmadu Ahidjo was to continue to be the president of this territory. And Jongu Foncha, who was the prime minister of the Southern Cameroons, that was governed together by Britain, that the Southern Cameroons and Nigeria were governed together by Britain. But the Southern Cameroons, on the day of their independence, they were given a type of condition that throughout the United Nations history, this is the only country in the world, so we are in the Guinness books of the world, that we're told to join a country before having our independence. What an irony. Well, we decided, and here we are. Now, to make it very clear that we were a different entity and there is no way La Republique can coerce and shout and make the world to believe their lies that we were formerly one and indivisible. We said, no, that's not true. If it were true, all these documents that are coming out now would not have been in position. But look at this one. La Republique has forgotten that there are a number of things in the archives that make it very clear and states it very unequivocally that we were never, we the Ambazonians, like we are calling Ambazonian now, but in the days of the British rule, it was called Southern Cameroons or British Southern Cameroons. And this British Southern Cameroons was under the tutorage of Britain, just like Nigeria. Our historians have been telling us the news of the terrible incident that happened on that 30th. Britain and France had a terrible agreement against the people of the Southern Cameroons, which we call today Ambazonia. We call Ambazonia because we've discovered a number of countries in Africa, when they got their independence, they changed their names. The names that the colonial masters and the imperialists gave to them. We have like Gold Coast, they changed it to Ghana. We had like Dahomey, they changed it to Togo. You have Upper Volta, they changed it to Burkina Faso, and so many other African countries that they had to change their names. So when I mention Ambazonia, don't tell me that we don't know Ambazonia and that that's not the correct name. No, we have gotten our independence on the 1st of October 1961. As we are talking now, we have just celebrated the 62nd anniversary of our independence. And of course, it was celebrated around the globe. And I observed a little bit that La Republique finally went back to their green, red, yellow without a star, because they have recognized and realized that these people, the Ambazonian people, they have gone. I don't know who gave La République the name Republic du Cameroons, but they went back to Republic of Cameroon. And we, the Ambazonians, we have made a choice to go back to Ambazonia, our nation. But let's look at some of the evidences that prove to La République and prove to the world. I don't want to talk much about the United Nations because so many people have actually spoken to them. And if they are a real gentleman's club, they should not be ashamed to correct their wrongs. So I'm taking you what United Nations has in their archives and know that this is what happened. Not to talk of Britain. Britain, I don't know what adjective to give them, but they are a good bad people. They are a good bad people. Very trickish, sneaky, and they're very slippery. They know the wickedness they played on the people of Ambazonia. But at the same time, at this age of enlightenment, we call on the Britons to sit up, tell their leadership to correct the wrongs of their imperialistic leadership in Ambazonia. I was talking with a senior citizen of Ambazonia, and he told me that after the independence of Ambazonia, Prince Charles, who is actually the king now, visited Ambazonia, particularly in Bamenda, and discovered that there was no light. And when he got back to London, he sent a generator to Bamenda. Mr. King, King Charles, there is something your parents and your forefathers left without completing. Can you take the boldness and liberate Ambazonia from this slavery that Britain sold Ambazonia to France through La République du Cameroon, and we are now having a rogue regime and a genocide that has taken more than 50,000 people of ours? Do you care? I want to plead with your majesty to get to your veto office and take your veto powers and let Ambazonia get back into the common world and get her seat in the United Nations. Just take a look at this other evidence of the two nations divisible. Look at it. I want you to look at that picture very closely. Look at it very well and tell me what you can see there. Because this is a declaration in 1930 by France. Declaration made by the governor of the colony and protectorate of Nigeria and the governor of the French Cameroons, defining the boundary between British and French Cameroons. Did you understand that? This declaration was made on behalf of making the boundary between the British Cameroons and the French Cameroons. Because these Cameroons, as the appellation given by the colonial masters and the founders of their imperialistic trial of our nations, because when they say they founded Africa, I begin to surprise whether they are the ones who brought the human beings that are living in Africa. Anyway, let's forgive them of their ignorance and language that is not called for. Let's concentrate on the document. This document was done in France, in Paris. They said here, this protocol has not yet been approved by His Majesty's government in the United Kingdom, presented by the Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs to Parliament by command of His Majesty. I don't know who was the Majesty at that time, but the French came together. I don't know who is the author of this document, but I can see there France, it have it in their archives, and the governors that were in charge of the protectorate states of Nigeria and the Cameroons made a distinction that the Cameroons were two distinct, divisible Cameroons: the English Cameroons and the French Cameroons. And the boundaries between the English Cameroons, that was called the British Cameroons, because Britain was the tutor of that country to prepare them for their independence. So they have this document by those governors, and it is written here, London, printed and published by His Majesty's Stationery Office, to be purchased directly from, what is this? I cannot see it very well. Is it M or HM Stationery Office at the following addresses? All right, they give the addresses there, and in Manchester, and the Crescent, and Dongaley Square, West Belfast, through any bookseller. All right, whatever it is, this is a document that, again, in the 1930s, went ahead to divide and prove to La République and some stooges of Ambazonia that this land was divisible, and it is divisible. I'll go ahead to show you another picture, because today we are doing pictorial. And in the pictures that I'm showing you guys and televiewers and the people of Ambazonia, particularly those of you who are thinking that Ambazonia is a dream. But I want to let you know, Ambazonia is not only a dream, it is a reality. I want you to look at a report concerning Cameroon, because they went back to their name of Cameroon. And of course, Ambazonia emerged. Just look at this diagram. Whoever brought the diagram, I think I buy it. All right. Can you see it? Look at it very well. I want you to note Cameroon and Ambazonia situation report summary diagram. This is the diagram. Like I said, this year, 20th May, of which La République deceived the whole of their community, and of course could not succeed to deceive Ambazonians. I'm told that, and I try to observe, if you have the opportunity, just find out the pictures of the 20th May of 2023, you might see what I am talking about. I was told that they were obliged to remove the star in the middle because it was never there. I don't know whether that is real, but what I know is that Cameroon in 1961 had a flag that was completely different with 2 stars on the green showing peace. And when they started their mafia, dismantling the structures of Ambazonia, they became the oppressor. And the oppressor and the oppression, the oppressed and the oppression that they were operating to dismantle us was very slow, unnoticeable. That's the history we are talking about. They started very gradually, condemned everything that we were doing, destroyed it, and could not implement it in their zone. Womb Area Development Authority, WADA, disappeared. The land is still there. Unfortunately, they could not carry the land, but they cut away with the instruments, the implements, and the equipment that we were given to survive. UNVDA, Union Valley Development Authority of Ndop, where rice was produced in its magnitude, lower rice and upper rice. They dismantled the equipment. The place is now a shadow. And I can hear some daydreaming Ambazonians saying that, oh, we should not fight, we should not go into this getting back our land, because, as the years go by, things were going to be restored. And some of them, they call themselves pastors and men of God, of which is very shameful. Anyway, it's not surprising to me because we are in the last days. And the very Bible says that there is going to be a time that good will be called evil and evil will be called good. Right will be called wrong and wrong will be called wrong. Wrong will be called right. And that's what is actually happening. That these clergymen that are supposed to tell the truth, they have condescended to be lying, telling the young ones that have been born in bondage. Because when we got and tried to join with the Republic of Cameroon, we got into bondage. In fact, everlasting prison. Anybody that was born after 1961 was born a prisoner and has grown up in a cell. And some of them are used to eating the crumbs, and so they are contented in sitting with La Republic, deceiving themselves that we are evolving. And so these ones that have been handpicked, who call themselves senators and parliamentarians, when they come to talk, sincerely speaking, I sit down, I listen to them, I pity them. Because some of them, even though they were born before this imprisonment, they voluntarily and willfully got into the prison because they are eating crumbs. Now, Ambazonia, that was oppressed, all that they had, they took it away in order to keep Ambazonia poor so they can oppress them. But unfortunately, the riches they took away from Ambazonia, They could not even make good use of them, because even in this operation, the Ambazonian people are still a little bit better off. When you look at them physically, you know that they are under a yoke. But when you look at La Republique, that took away the Cameroon Bank, took away the Tico Airport, Tico Seaport, Victoria Wharf, everything, Yoke electricity plant, they took it away. But go and look at them. They have not done anything to even better themselves. And then some Ambazonians, I normally tell myself that these people are not normal. There is either juju, that is a powerful witchcraft that has been used on some of them. What you find in mind, like Mbela Muki, coming out to make some useless speeches. What you find Gute, in fact, there's no road going to his village. God helping me, tomorrow, I'm sure you have already watched it on the Undaunted News, how that a whole village, they are carrying a man on what? In a coffin, and crossing a bridge that is not made of planks, but of ropes, in the 21st century. Oh my God. Okay, let's go here. If you look at La Republic of Cameroon, fighting to keep Ambazonia oppressed. If you look at the oppressed people fighting for total freedom from Cameroon geopolitical oppression, that is who we are. And that is where we are going. And we will not continue in this bondage. Ambazonians, we have determined we will not, and we are not going to continue in this very oppression that the enemy has called to put Ambazonians under. No, we will not accept it. We will not accept it. We have said that we have come to the end, and we must come to the end of this tragic and this game plan that La Republique is actually carrying out on Ambazonians. We will not agree to that. No, 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 no. Because we will not agree to that, we want to let Ambazonians know that we are out to make sure that we, the Ambazonian people, we do not sit quiet and watch with our hands folded and being deceived that help is going to come from somewhere. Some people call it the whether UN, and some who don't even know what the meaning of referendum means. They don't know. They go to say we are waiting for a referendum, a United Nations organized referendum. Oh my God. Please, can you learn that a referendum is done when there is an agitation with a particular group of people who feel that they are being cheated by their government and they want to break away? Do you know that's what happens when they call for a referendum? And then you sit down there and tell an independent country with all dates very clear that you are waiting for a United Nations organized referendum. Mr. Christopher Anu, I thought you were a journalist and that you went to school. Could you not learn just this very simple lesson? That you go out there and start deceiving Ambazonians, telling Ambazonians of something, of a dream that is not even. Of course, if people in the United Nations, if they hear that kind of statement, they will just laugh at you because they know that this is a clown or somebody who doesn't even understand what a referendum means. And so, Ambazonians, I'm sure you are getting something from our history. I'll soon come to where we have to be. I'll be mixing up in my pictures, but I need to show you some more pictures. Let me show you this one. We may not be able to scrutinize, but just look at the picture. You will agree with me that nobody can hide smoke with his hands or cover smoke with his hands. And you must agree with me that khaki no be leather. One is stronger than another. And so, watch at this so that you can know that when they talk of number one liars in the world, La République that has an advanced PhD in lying is trying to deceive the world. And I'm sure that some of the guys in United Nations who knew that La République was lying were sitting in a conspiracy of silence, just hoping that there should be no evidence so that they can, as members of the same club, sit quiet. But unfortunately, they cannot wipe out evidence. First evidence, Exhibit A, as it is said in the courts. This is West Cameroon Legislative Assembly Almanac in 1968, when Joa was forcefully taken out of his elected office and Mr. Estimuna was imposed on the Ambazonian people, who gradually carry out the process of assimilation and annexation. Of course, I'm told that before his term ended in this life, he cried and pleaded with the Ambazonian people. Don't call him a black leg. Leave him alone. He was doing his best. His belly was there, that's true. But unfortunately, he could not even satisfy himself. And that is what happens with all blacklegs, contractors of La République, because La République does not have any favorite, okay? It's just like you cannot work for the devil and become the best student of the devil. Bia professed to be the best student of Mitterrand. Well, he's doing the job. But you know what? His time is running out, because he has done the best that he could do, and France has given up. They are still lying, and money is still being given to them. But you know what? The living ancestors, living ancestors, and if the dead ancestors could talk, I will let La République, France, and Britain, let them know that history has engraved it, that they shall never be able to take Ambazonia as their land by hook or by crook. No way. Ambazonia is a different entity. If you have eyes, go through this almanac, you will see the men and women that mattered in the history of the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Well organized, well structured, doing things according to the rule of the law. But as I said, unfortunately, many of us, many of you, because I am not a part of it, Many of you were born into a country that is not a free country. You were born into slavery, and you were born as slaves, and you were born as prisoners. And that is what you have grown up to see yourself to be, and that is where you are. Ambazonians, sit up. You are not slaves, and you will not continue to live in slavery. I've told you, God, who has given us the ability to become who we are, is helping us as Ambazonians to take our stand. Let's get to some music. I'll be right back.
I give you glory, Abba Father. You know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name more than the I can see your hand in my life. Lord, I see your love upon me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. I dey hear your voice in my heart. Lord, I feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the below. Abba Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele.
Something which I know a bit. This name of Muna coming on. In the days of Ahijo, there were 4 main actors. That was Dr. Endeli, Pafoncha, Joa, Muna. There were other politicians, but these were the people that Ahijo was dealing with.
Yep.
When these things that Ahijo did was the power from Britain. When Foncha was appointed vice president in Yaoundé, Muna was appointed Minister of Transport.
Right, we know that.
Yes, that is where and the difference between these people was that Pajwa was that he was a hot-headed somebody.
Yep.
He wanted things to happen immediately. That is where with the power that Britain had given to Ahijo, that is why he replaced, because Muna was closer to him.
Yep.
Not because of complicity, no.
Okay.
Know that I heard that was Komando was there closer, and they were cool. They didn't want anything because they saw that if the rest are all that hit, something was going to happen. They avoided the bloodshed, which would have started that time.
Right.
This time.
Right.
Yeah, people start calling. They were not this. These were grade 1 teachers.
Yeah. Understood.
Yes, grade 1 teachers. We need to praise them because they didn't commit us.
Yeah.
I hear when this name was changed from United Republic, Muna was the speaker. When he was sent out,
yes.
When he came back, he saw the dog, he pulled them, and that's why his house was burned in his village. That is what I do not know how far that is true. His house was burned, but I know that his house was burned because of those documents. And then when our fathers were like, we should try to bring their spirit closer to, and then they started this fight before they died.
Yeah.
Yes. Na Pafoncha, Pamuna, Panjo Litumbe, also who is there? Elat. They sponsor, some of them, Pafoncha sponsor himself. Banjoli to make Pamuna sponsor them, sponsor. Please, I beg, we should try to bring our father because they did a good thing that they didn't commit us.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You'll be on tomorrow?
Yes, I'll be on tomorrow. Yes, sir.
I'll have
There's another call. Yeah, another person. There's somebody on the line. Yes. Who is that, Pa?
I've seen one man who were taught in school. The man was a minister from whom?
Okay.
Mr. Dan.
Okay.
I've seen him.
Okay.
So we are happy that God should bless you people, push ahead in all those things.
Okay, Pa. All right.
Our association also started in the hands of Mona.
Okay.
Yeah, it is true.
Okay. Well,
those people, they have no evidence. They're all over us.
Yes. Yes, there's no evidence. This is a clear evidence that. Yes, Pa.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pa.
I'm very happy to see you.
Okay, Pa. All right.
Yeah. I quite remember that all those ministers, they taught us in school.
Okay.
Yes.
All
I've
right.
seen Mr. And somebody from whom told me that the minister of Dankuru, who was a woman, have just died.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Pa. Thank you very much.
God should bless us until the day we meet.
Okay, Pa. All right, we shall meet. Yeah, that's our Pa calling from home front, who was with some of the ministers he has just seen on the almanac, and is very, very happy. Yeah, we still have people who can testify that La République du Cameroon's lies to the international community and to themselves that we are one and indivisible is not true. There are people who are still alive and they can testify. And then we are saying that, like the first caller had mentioned, we were blaming, but when we get into knowledge, we are not blaming anybody, because right up to Foncha, they played very good, clean politics. Because if they had started this war at that time that there was no technology, they would have wiped us out. So their negative part contributes to our positive part. And so there is nothing that we should be blaming these people, because their disadvantage brought us advantage. If you understand that, that is fine. If in this 21st century, where every machinery has been proven that we were not and that we are not part of La République du Cameroon in any way possible, we tried to, but it didn't work. There are all forms of instruments, in picture forms, in audio forms, in written forms, in every format, in physical forms, because there are people are still available to testify that we were never with these fellows. Now, if this is going on and they cannot still accept, you can imagine in the days of Muna, in the days of Foncha, if they had taken up this fight the way we are doing it today. In the days of Chief von Goji Dinka, he's still alive, but he fought, and he is still a living example. Palitume just went, and many of them have just gone, who have proven to us in this 21st century that La République is a liar. And the world knows that they are lying. But because of what, as our president puts it, whenever President Sako is speaking for the Ambazonian people, is very, very interesting, because he tells them exactly what they will not want to hear. He says that this club of friends that we have now, the club of friends in United Nations, he calls them a club of friends because every evidence is there. Okay, look at this one. Take a look. Come on. Can somebody take a close look at this particular picture? Just take a look at it and let me know what you observe. If you don't understand what that is, let me explain to you. This particular episode, you can see, you can make it big in your screen. I've forgotten the name of this United Nations guy who visited La République du Cameroon during the 50th anniversary of their independence, when they call it the centenaire. I mean, the 100, what did they call it? Am I making mistake with the name? Whatever it is. But these two maps came from the United Nations in 2010. That's about 13 years ago, showing the exact map of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia and the map of La République du Cameroon in its origin, telling La République du Cameroon that British Southern Cameroon is not one and indivisible country, but that they have failed in the process that would have made them what they vowed to be: two nations of equal status, equal standing. They would have made them to know that these two nations came together to form a big force in Africa. The only bilingual country in Africa, when I was going to school in the early 60s, I was told, is Cameroon. It used to come in our test and in our exams. Name the only bilingual country in Africa, and it was Cameroon. And they had it that they speak English and French in any office. But tribalism came in, nepotism came in, and the annexation and assimilation came in and made La République du Cameroon to become a waste like they are today. I mean, they are a waste. But you know what? My time is running out. I shall come back with this history. But before I go out of here, let me show you where we are going, because we are not going to remain and be licking our wounds. I shall come up possibly tomorrow, God willing, to share again what we are actually going for. Let me show you this before I get out of the studio. Look at this picture, and you tell me what it is all about. And I want all the coup plotters all the can you see that? Oh, very good. Look at where we are. To those of you who are coup plotters, and to those of you who are contractors of La Republic of Cameroon, and those who have stood up to form groups and other kind of things, this is the gallant president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, the never again generation. Yes, generation, it says generational theft, end time. This is the end time of generational theft. I'm telling you, with what is presently going on, I shall be expatiating on this in our program, possibly tomorrow, God willing. I shall talk more about this. Because our time is up, I want to tell you how our history is evolving and the strides we are taking to make sure that Ambazonia becomes what it was and more in the 60s. Here is Mr. President, I salute. Yes, a few of the Ambazonian statesmen, elderly statesmen, some of them at home, who are actually watching what is going on now, I'm sure they are rejoicing that our banana plantations, our oil palm plantations, our rubber plantations, we are getting them back because the thievery is going to stop. These plantations are located in Ambazonia. They are goodies produced by wretched Ambazonians, but swindled to French Cameroon, leaving Ambazonians with nothing. We are now ending this colonial madness. Dr. Samuel Ikomesako, President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Yes, sir. That is where, oh my God, what's going on? La Republique. You know, anything that happens, we go back to call La Republique. This is the picture I was showing. This gallant servant of God, servant of the Ambazonian people. And before I came back to the studio, I saw something different. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is our president, the youth for never again generation. And we stand with him that generational theft orchestrated by France and other European nations has ended. And we are going to do real business with all the European nations on our terms, not on their terms. We are not against them. We are not fighting them. No. We simply want that things should go the right way that they should go. That's all we want. And because we want things to go in that right way, we are calling on all Ambazonians to join hands with our president and the never again generation, and let us tell these thieves that we have come to age, as it is written. When we shall come to age, the yoke, we shall break the yoke. And this is the time we have come to age, and we are breaking the yoke of bondage that La République, that France through La République, and many of their Western partners have put on us. And we are going to deal with all these on our terms, because God is on our side and God knows our name. Ladies and gentlemen, people of Ambazonia and people around the globe, remember, this is our Amba history, and we are repeating this history so that you can know that Ambazonia, remember I told you the history of Ambazonia would have been put in Southern Cameroons, because some people are saying that Ambazonia does not have a history. No, the history of Southern Cameroons is the history of Ambazonia. This is a name that was in the belly of Southern Cameroons when the Europeans gave us that name, Southern Cameroons. And we are completely divorcing from anything Cameroon. We are not prunes, so we cannot be called Janga. No, we are the Ambas, the light, the shining light in Africa. Thank you very much for being with me today, and possibly meet with you tomorrow at the same time for an update of what is going on. Remember, Ambazonia must and is free. I will need to continuously remind some of you who once in a while you slip off and you are thinking and talking other things. We call it quit for today, and God bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye.